And we're back. We do not know how long this beta is going to be. We don't have a date on the release, but I mean, we're still here asking questions from the devs Discord here in the Panthers Den. Let's get into it. Kalika-lika-lao. Will there be bonus in-game items for playing previously made Ubisoft games? I don't see why not at all, because they've done it before. And it's also made me interested in playing another game, another universe type of thing, because you win something, or not win something, you get something like, hey look, you downloaded this game, so in your stash is this from the Rainbow Six game. You're like, but I didn't play the Rainbow Six game, maybe I should. So I mean, I think that'd be cool. I think to have like a gun charm or backpack or logo banners, you know, like Destiny 2 has those banners that were limited time, or you had to do a certain trial or get a code from this, or whatever the case is. That conversation, like, where did you get that from? Oh, I got it because I beat Recon. I'm like, oh man, I got a Recon one because I owned the game, or I played it but I didn't beat it. Like, so I think that'd be cool if they add that in there. Next one, regarding streamers, which are very useful for communication, will there be Twitch drops? I think the first part regarding streamers, which are very useful for communication, I don't think that's a question or a statement. Maybe I'm pulling something from it as a content creator myself. Streamers are super important. Content creators are super important. And what I'm learning more than ever when I first started this in October was, analytically, yes, they're looking at numbers from all types of streamers from everywhere, demographics, everything, right? But they're also, the part of the communication is, maybe it's happened to you, put in the comments if it has or not, but I'll watch a certain streamer who is talking about a game that you should buy, or maybe they're just playing the game, and the feeling is sometimes different versus a smaller streamer, content creator, where it's more organic. They know your name, they kind of know what games you play, and so when they're telling you, hey, I'm playing this game, and you know, like, oh, I know that person's similar to my style, that you're more, I guess, impacted by it to go ahead and make a purchase for that game. That's happened to me before, where I've made a purchase to a game because it might be a content creator I've been following for a while. I like their perspective, it's similar to mine, or maybe they make me think something a slightly different way than what I thought before. But I believe they're very useful, not just in communication, but growing your brand or your game. So I think on the communication part, which again, this is not a question from this person, the question was about Twitch drops, but I think it goes into having a space for content creators, press kits that normally go out to the press, and having the information like Outriders. Again, me learning that Outriders did this thing, the ambassador thing. Some games have it where you're an ambassador, or you can stream the game early, or you get to see it early, or whatever the case. The point is, behind closed doors, New Worlds did the same thing, where if you're a content creator, you had a special Discord or a chat, so you're able to let people know if their servers were down, if there was issues in games, how to fix those issues. You're able to know about, let's say someone was like, is there cross progression? You could literally talk to someone immediately and get that answer for your community, and or even tweet it, whatever the case is. So I think if they did something like this, that'd be awesome. Now the question about Twitch drops, why wouldn't there be? There's Twitch drops already for Ubisoft games, different content. So, you know, that's just the whole hype of it. You'll see content creators who might not stream games like this stream this game as it comes out. So why not Twitch drops? Will there be any leaning mechanics similar to Rainbow Six? Wish a lot of first-person games had that type of leaning mechanic. I've seen, like, not Saturday Night Live, but I've seen like videos where they're making jokes about the leaning mechanics in certain video games like Rainbow Six. I'm horrible at that. I couldn't tell you anything about the leaning mechanics, other than my son laughs because I don't do it, and I don't do it well enough to live long enough to help his team. But whatever. But he does it, and then he plays games that don't have that mechanic in it, and he doesn't care. He just wants to get kills and his team to win. So I mean, I don't know, we'll see if that comes in. I think that even goes with the conversation about keyboard versus controller and aim assist. How long will the PS or the PlayStation PC testing last? I don't know. The information's not out yet, but if it goes with any other play testing I've done or was a part of, not just with Ubisoft, but other ones, they average about 3 days, and they want you to participate at least once, and they're normally full days. So again, if they make this broad enough for different time zone to get as much information as possible, it could be something they do for a weekend. Or let me check the calendar. So the 5th is Thursday, so on Monday the 2nd, code should start going out. You should see it to be able to download, or at least see it in your library. On Thursday, the game is live as far as the closed beta for PC and US. So you're looking at maybe Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday night it closes, maybe Monday. I would be so surprised if this opened up the whole time. And then I see them maybe taking feedback, Q&A, some marketing stuff, answering some of the questions, and then maybe opening it again that same month, maybe the month after for the same thing. If they do like PTS, like do it in waves, I don't know, it'd be interesting. I just want to know, is there going to be weapons and or legendary weapons from other games, Tom Clancy games? I think that'd be cool if that was the case. But I give you an example, what if there was a gun like the apartment or the house or the Bullet King, memento bag, you know, whatever the case is, where that gun is a realistic gun, like the Banshee, the CMMG Banshee. You know, you have a realistic gun. What if that is a real gun in another game and it's called something different? So I mean, I'm fine with it just being the gun in general. I think the fans will know, like, okay, that's a blah blah blah, that's from whatever game. All right, now I wish I would have said maybe the username or gamer tag or whatever, Discord, but I had no idea it was this many questions. They've been adding a lot of questions even before they did the cutoff, and there was even more questions, but if they were too similar to something else, they cut those questions and other things, trolls, things of that nature. So sorry about that. So if this happens to be your questions, appreciate it for the community. Now, another question, can you elaborate on the distinctions between traits, abilities, and ultra? I believe, and again, no one is talking to me to answer this. This is what we do. We look at stuff, we comment, we have our own opinion, and that's what I'm doing. I'm just conversating here like a podcast form in the Panthers Den. We're just hanging out, we're just chilling. So maybe you know the answer, put it in the comments. Maybe you have a question, put in the comments, because there has been times where in previous videos on 2 separate other games, not in this genre, where devs or community managers have been in my comments to answer a question or point us to a certain direction or talk to me later on. So I think that's pretty cool that if, yeah, the devs ended the ask the dev question, but there might be something in here that somebody looks at and the conversation continues. So I would say, you got a place over here. So anyways, to continue on, they were talking about the traits, abilities, and ultras. Now, there was a leak on a game, rumored the title was like Battle Cat, and it was months ago. And the conversation was it like the mobile elite game that came out in 2022? And I'm not going to say the person's name because I don't know if that person wants that attention, but I've said it in previous videos. But the information came out at where it was like, it was telling you, I'll give you an example, meet the outcast. And I did a faction video on it if you wanted more detail about the factions in which they're starting out with. But at some point, I think in that little summary they give you, they're telling you what the traits and abilities and ultras are. Now they'll go deeper into it, but I give you an example. If I read the outcast and I'm looking for traits, abilities, and ultras, they're like, the outcast similarly take care of their own team as Battle Cat's healer. Now again, that's just what the title was at the time, so I'm pretty sure it's Defiant healer now at this point. Support class, dealing damage, boost their own health and regen. So maybe that's what their trait is, and they can heal nearby allies and drop a hive. So maybe their abilities is to heal allies. Like, I mean, I don't have the information right now because I'm just kind of going off of a little note that I had, but when I did the previous video and they talked about how each class had those abilities and your ultimate, like whether it was the wolves, which is the tank, having that shield that can move with you, or you can hunker down and just, defend a certain area. I think that's what it comes down to. I think it's very similar to Overwatch, Valorant, and Apex Legends where there's, you know, a number of cooldowns. So for sure, they've got to go into the detail on that. And I wouldn't be surprised if people who play games like that, esports stuff, where they'll break down kind of how it works, not how it works, but the strategy behind it. Will there be extra features for next gen consoles? Field of view sliders or 120 frames per second support at the launch or during the time of its life. The life is rough to say. Life is it's too soon in the process. Like, I don't think anybody knows how long this game's going to go. I wish they would address probably the elephant in the room, which is the Hyperscape, if that's what it's called, another game by Ubisoft, another developmental crew, not in the universe of the Tom Clancy or anything like that. But I don't think that did well. I think I actually was a part of the beta testing for that as well. I enjoyed the game, but I didn't connect to any of the characters, and I saw what they were trying to do. So maybe they took that information and added that to this game because they didn't develop it from that. But I don't know, extra features for next gen consoles. Again, I think what it is it's what can be ported backwards, if that makes sense. Again, I'm not a tech person like that, but like I said, PC is superior in the quality of majority of the first person, third person shooters I played. And then when I played them on Xbox, and I own an Xbox and a PlayStation, when I played on the other one, I feel like the Xbox has been closer to the PC, and then the PlayStation just a little bit, I don't want to say less than, but it just like, that's just how it is. So I don't think it's extra features. I think it's more or less, can you reproduce the same thing that you would probably be able to do on a PC clocking 120 and more. But I don't know. It depends on, they might be saying, hey, look, there's not a market for it necessarily. It might be something we'll put in an update that looks good and feels good. How many televisions out there are running 120? As far as the field of view slider, I don't see why they wouldn't have that, because they already got that in majority of their games now. Let's see, we know we're going to see factions like Tom Clancy. How about villains? Far Cry series, I think, like I said, the artwork showed Far Cry in my opinion, so I believe we'll see factions from there. Will this game have hard mechanics to learn or be easy? Easier for a siege player? I think that's the beauty of this game, if it's designed the way they're talking about it, that you can play it and learn. And then I think there's just some people who are just going to be good at this game. Again, I keep going to my son, who plays hours of first person shooters. It's really all he plays, and he's just good at the game. I'm not saying tournament level good. He's just good at the game. It doesn't matter if he's on controller, mouse, or keyboard. Once he gets the settings and everything tweaked the way he wants to, he just has an advantage of being good at the game, whatever the case is. And whether the math on it as well, of knowing, all right, well, the armor's gone, so he's got 13%, so I can push with this, and the shotgun splash damage will give me this even if I miss in the shot. Like, there's just some people who are good at what they're doing, but I think if they get the mechanics the way it needs to be where it can go from a noob playing the game and enjoying it, getting frustrated because if you're a noob, your ceiling is only so high, and to the point where it is esport, and it is, you know, that tactical carry your team, work together, the team. I think it's going to be interesting, but I believe this game at some point, if it's done the right way, will be like, hey, this is one of those games where it's probably just as much entertaining to watch players who are just on a whole nother level playing this.